All right, everyone, welcome in to another edition of the Bully the Board Weekly Show podcast. We're down a man this week, I down for the second week in a row, actually. Last week I wasn't able to sit in. I was traveling for work, and now your boy Seth might be down with the sickness. So he's he's down enough for the count. But yeah, it's Kevin and Steve here with you. We're gonna run through a little bit of how things went over the weekend for Week 10. Again, look ahead to Week 11 and the one and only kind of actually 1.5 picks that we got for the model this week. So let's just hit the ground running, man. Let's get into it. So last week was another good week for us. The model had 4 picks and we went 3-1. So we had a very profitable week finally again, because last week I forget what it was last week already, because I was so jacked up with being out of town, Steve, and whatnot. But not so 2 weekends ago. What did we do? Remind me.
Well, yeah, we had the bye week last week, right? We had
That's right. Okay, so that's right. That's how jacked up I am. That seems like 4 weeks ago. Yeah. So we're coming back. We're coming back. I'm all jacked up. So appreciate that. Yeah.
No,
So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
it felt like a bye week basically was a winning week at this point. No, just
Yeah,
playing.
dude, I'll take it. Fuck yeah.
Hey, you got to protect the downside too, not just the upside. But so yeah, but let's look back for a second to Week 10. 3-1 for the model, but for you, we started off the week good on Thursday night, Panthers and Falcons, and Panthers took care of business.
Mhm.
What was your takeaway from that one, and did you get to watch it?
Yeah. So I knew. I mean, I thought for sure that game was going to be a shit show, and in a way, it kind of was. I mean, I think we had, was it like 3 missed PATs or something crazy like that. From Young Ho,
I
never
know,
coolest in the
man.
football. Never
That boy's
misses, but
money.
I know. Yeah. So actually, there was. I was out actually at Casino del Sol. They opened up a new sports
Yeah.
book out here in
Oh,
Tucson, and
nice.
it's no Vegas, but it's actually pretty dope because it has a bunch of TVs, a bunch of seated areas. Not a lot of people go to it. But they have like cheap beer, cheap food. It's
Yeah.
actually low key a pretty dope spot. I'll be going there a lot more. And you know how I love me my paper
Oh
tickets
yeah.
and
Oh
putting the
yeah.
cold hard cash in my hand. But
Yes.
anyway, watching the game, yeah, definitely, it was one of the ones where I kind of saw Panthers covering, either covering or getting blown out the entire way. I knew it wasn't going to be close one way or the other. And so once they kind of got up and the Panthers doing their thing, it was
Yeah.
pretty good. And I think at one point I thought, oh man, one of those missed PATs somehow it's going to fuck us, but
I
we
know.
ended up doing okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was a relatively, I won't say sweat free. Nothing's really ever sweat free, but there
Sure.
wasn't too much drama as far as Panthers +3 in this one. So
Right.
your boy, I mean PJ Walker, handled business again,
The
pretty
GOAT.
efficient, but he got hurt in that game, and now they're already gonna be turning to Baker, which so I forget what kind of injury he had or what happened to him, but he's obviously out.
Uh, I don't know, but it definitely helps our futures. I don't know we're getting that in a second, but
You
love it.
know what?
Love it.
Oh
Double whammy,
man,
right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure we did well when Baker was the starter for Carolina, towards the future bets. So, but yeah, so Panthers +3, that one was rolling good, and then rolling into Sunday games, we had Titans -3 and Steelers +2, and both of these also kind of followed a similar script. Again, relatively sweat free, like there wasn't a ton of drama with either one of these, but the Titans game was interesting to me. I got to tune into a little bit of that at the end, but I didn't get to see the whole thing because I mean they were playing the Broncos. Broncos were coming off a bye, and you're thinking, or at least I was thinking, like, shit, I don't know, can Russell and company like pull one out the hat, off a bye, get maybe a little healthy, like figure some shit out, but
Right.
nope.
Nope.
Universality here, man. What was will continue to be, man. They just look like shit. And then
Mhm.
Tannehill coming back from his injury too. Like, I don't know how he was going to look, but he had a relatively efficient game too. A couple of long bombs, which you don't usually see from him. So, yeah, that one was reassuring to see because if out of those two, the Titans and the Steelers, I was, I guess, most interested or concerned to see how that one was going to play out.
Yeah, I think for me, I thought the Titans was the one I was actually worried about the most. I
Yeah,
thought the Steelers would take care of business, but the Titans one concerned me only because like it's two good defenses. It's kind of a one possession kind of game, which it ended up being right.
yeah,
And surprisingly, like King Henry really didn't do shit that game. I thought for sure that's what had me sweating my boots, shaking in my boots was when Derrick Henry didn't really have any production that game. I thought for sure Broncos to find a way to win that, but no, Tannehill and the boys came up big. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then with the Steelers, man, like I don't know how the Saints can, in good faith, continue to roll out Andy Dalton and be like, "Yeah, we think we can win with this fool." You know, I mean, you're a Bears fan. You saw him how he was. Like, are you not thinking the same
yeah.
thing?
Oh yeah, here, listen. As much as I hate to say this, as much as I love blaming the Chicago organizations for our lack of quarterbacks, it's not looking good for. Listen, if this were a breakup, Chicago's winning the breakup. You got Mitch Trubisky being benched and booed in Pittsburgh. You got Andy Dalton ruining the New Orleans franchise. Chicago's looking pretty damn good. Maybe it wasn't us. Maybe it was you, boo. But
Man.
yeah, no, Andy Dalton is not the answer for that. Jameis, that's kind of unfortunate what happened with the season.
Yeah,
RIP to, including myself, the over bets for the year. But Andy Dalton is not the answer there. So we'll see what they do. Is this the lost season? Do they continue to put Andy out there to tank and get draft stock for next year, or do they try to salvage what's a pretty weak NFC South? I don't know which way they go, but it'll be interesting
yeah.
to see.
I saw something today. I think Dennis Allen was saying that they're gonna for now they're gonna continue to stick with Dalton, and I'm just like, I mean,
Who's the
who are
real
you trying
victim
to
here
sell,
though?
man?
Yeah,
What?
the real victim here? Taysom Hill. Your boy has
Oof.
come in and done everything that has been asked of him for years. For years, can the man take control? I know I was watching that game, and there was one drive when Taysom was in, and he was rolling, dude. He was like
Yeah,
as
yeah.
quarterback, not just running, like as quarterback. He was rolling, and they get somewhere into Steelers territory. They put Dalton back in, and he immediately fumbled. Even like the first play, he fumbles. Now I do believe they recovered, the Saints did, but still, like how iconic is that? So pour one out for your boy Taysom.
Yeah, for sure, man. So Titans and Steelers, that was a good hit. And those are both the early games. So it was a quick end to the day for the model. So we got to enjoy the rest of the games that day. And then coming into Monday night, we had Eagles -8.5 here. So I think the line opened at, or I know it at least closed at around 11. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I'm assuming you guys got it earlier in the week, or about the points or whatever you did,
didn't matter,
and
but yeah.
so it didn't matter. So yeah, that game was interesting, man. I mean, the dude, the savior, Taylor Heineke again, like he just,
Bro.
I don't know. I mean, I know the model likes him. We've talked about that in the past too. It likes Heineke. Like when he comes in, he just balls out. He's efficient and
Mhm.
yeah, for whatever reason, it didn't pick up on on it this time. Yeah, so Eagles just flat out straight up lose the game, and I live bet that a couple of times too um, on a couple different ways, but taking the Eagles, like at one point they were like -2.5, so I'm like slamming. So I think it was like close to
Right.
halftime. I don't know what it was. So yeah, I kind of lost my ass on that one a little bit again. But yeah, what would you take away from that one?
Yeah, listen, Taylor Heineke may be the greatest backup quarterback in of this era. I'm just calling it like it is. I mean, the man comes in on a moment's notice and just balls out. I mean, he doesn't win every game, but he balls out.
Yeah.
The Commanders looked like legitimate playoff contenders for one game. It's one game, but for one game, they looked pretty good. So I like you, man. I thought for sure the live bet was a slam dunk. I thought
Yeah.
the -8.5 really was never in question. That was my thought, during the first half. And then third quarter came. It's like, okay, we're getting a little tight on time here. Then the fourth
Yeah.
quarter came. And even in the fourth quarter, it was like, okay, well, if they score real quick, get a stop, they score again, we're
Right.
covering. We're all good. We're good. And no, it just never
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. It was one of
Now I
those
will
games
say,
too. Go ahead.
so I'll say, I will say, I'm all for player safety, but that was a BS call at the end. Let the boys play, ref.
Yeah, there was that for sure. That I mean, that was pretty whack. But I was gonna say, like, this was a little bit of a regression to the mean to some extent in one particular category. They flashed it during the game. I can't remember at what point, but the Eagles basically had like a plus double-digit turnover differential in the second half. You know, up to this point in the season, and they had a bunch of miscues and turnovers in this game. So that kind of finally caught up with them. You know, they were like on an unworldly streak that was unlikely to continue. And I think we just kind of just one of those weird ones where the ball doesn't bounce your way. And when you lose a turnover battle that badly, you're probably not gonna come out on top, man. So overall, again, 3-1 for the week for the model. So that brings the overall 2022 record to 20-32 here. So if we can string together a few of these weeks in a row, then it'll be interesting. We'll be in a potentially pretty good spot, towards the end of the season. But a lot left to go. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves for sure. 1 week at a time, baby. On the other hand, as for a good week that we had with the weekly model plays, we had I guess just as bad of a week for the futures stuff. So there were 2 teams on bye. I think so. Bengals and Patriots were on bye, but every other game went against us towards this one. So Panthers obviously won. We talked about that. The Colts
coming just in Saturday. The GOAT
coming in. Jeff gets hired on Saturday, comes in and wins on Sunday. Dude, what in the world? Okay, I don't know. I mean, maybe they know something that nobody else does, but like, where the hell did that come from? Hiring Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, we see all these like, they're a players coach, and they're in the trenches, and you got to get these fancy rich boys from the burbs out of here and get somebody to get their hands dirty. I get it. I don't think it's going to last long, honestly. I think he'll have another win or so this season. They feel inspired. It's change, and then I think the end of the season now, the Colts under 10 is going to hit. So
yeah. I mean, I don't feel worse about this pick anymore. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think he might be good for a couple of more than they were on track for, but yeah, they're still. I mean, their star LB just went on IR. Matt Ryan had a decent game last week, but I think you got to take the entirety of the season and look at it and be like, hasn't played up to snuff, and neither obviously his backup isn't good either. So we'll see how that transpires.
But you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of remember the We Are Marshall movie? The 1970 whatever Marshall Eagles, and that's
with McConaughey, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So the whole team dies in a plane crash, right? They come back, and then their first home game, they're inspired, they win. It's a dramatic last second victory. Everyone's like, oh yeah, these freshmen can play, yeah. And then they don't win another game the entire season. Like, that's what I see happening for the Colts. They have that one inspired thing. Here's some change. Saturday's in there, he's talking the talk, and then they just lose out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to coming off the streets, man. I mean, I read somewhere that he was actually a consultant or something like that for them this season already. So he was somehow involved in the team, on some level. Gotcha. But yeah, being on the sidelines is different. So yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating story. I mean, I'll be curious to see how it plays out. But yeah, I'm not shaking in my boots in any way, shape, or form on the under 10 there.
Yeah, but it's the Raiders, right? I mean, like, what is happening in Las Vegas? Jesus, right? So
yeah. I mean, that one's tough to pin. I mean, that the obvious or maybe low hanging fruit answer is Josh McDaniels, man. He just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He failed the first time around. Now he just, I don't know, completely, incompetent, really. I mean, how do you not have a more efficient team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, with the weapons that they got? And the mind that he supposedly is,
how do you get worse with Devontae Adams?
How do you get worse? Yeah. And what do they give up to get him too? At least a first. Did they give up a first?
Did he get traded? Or did he sign?
He got traded.
He
got traded. Yeah, so that one's that's bizarre. And I didn't like independently verify this either, but I saw a story. Um where did I see it on? Maybe Twitter. So just take that for what it's worth. But something to the extent that the Raiders want to fire McDaniels, but they literally cannot afford to because they're like cash strapped. The way they do their finances or whatever, like they don't got because they have to pay his contract out, and they don't have the cash to fire him. So I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't know, but yeah,
That's so funny.
McDaniels is just not your boy for sure.
Yeah, no, you're right. So they gave up a first and second round for Adams at number
First
22
and
and number
second,
53 overall.
that's
Yeah.
rough. Tough sledding, man.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be in they would certainly be in line, I think, for top 10 right now.
Yeah, the way they're going.
Yeah, yikes. Oh well, sucks to suck. Yeah, and then okay, so the Bengals were on bye as well as the Patriots, so no movement on those guys there. But yeah, we'll see. I think the Bengals are going to be getting Jamar Chase back in probably 1 or 2 weeks here now.
Mhm.
So that's good for them, obviously. But those two, the Bengals and Patriots, I think will kind of come down the last couple weeks here.
Yeah,
For sure.
so last week we did an exercise with Seth, and I want to run it by you. I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch it already, Kev, but so want to play a quick game with you, right? So the Bengals are 5-4, right? And so we have 8 games left, right? It's 8 games for 4 wins to win and 5 to push. All right. So tell me
Okay.
where they're getting their next wins from, and I'll run you through the schedule, right? So tell me win loss. We'll see how many wins you think they rack up.
Okay.
All right, they're at Pittsburgh this week.
Win.
Okay, I would agree with that. They're at Titans.
At Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Loss.
Okay. They host the Chiefs.
Loss.
They host the Browns.
Deshaun might be back. That's interesting, but I'm going win.
Yeah, I think that'll be. This is what, week 12. Yeah, John be back. Okay. They're at Tampa Bay.
Ooh, if Brady and them seem to have turned a corner, I don't know, but I'm gonna go. I'll go loss in a tight one.
Okay. All right. And then they're
tough,
at New England.
Win probably.
Okay. And then they have the Bills and the Ravens at the last 2 games of the year.
Loss at Bills and Ravens at the end of the year. Oh God, I don't know how many wins I gave them already, but I'm gonna.
I think he gave them 3.
Yeah,
So you can be generous and give them a win over Baltimore, which I do not think is going to be a thing in AFC.
Yeah,
North.
that's certainly not a guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. I would say, oh yeah, I'll give them a win. I'll be generous.
Sure. Yeah. All right. That's 9 wins on the season.
So that's 4 more wins.
That's what I'm saying. I love this bet. I still love this bet.
Okay, man. All right. Well, I hope we can. I hope you feel this way at the end of the season too, and it comes to fruition. Because you've been on this all.
I hate this bet.
I know. I told you all along. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So Patriots too. Yeah. I don't know. They're the flippy floppy, man. I don't know what the hell's going to happen with them. Like week to week, you can't really pin them. I mean, their offense is not great, obviously, but very, very potent. And good defense run by Belichick. So that always counts for something. And then the Saints, man, I don't know if we should just call it, let's just call it now. I mean, this time of death. Yeah, is we got to write the death certificate, man. This one does not look good at all. I mean, again, Andy Dalton behind center, they just can't string together any wins consistently. And I'm not saying they can with Jameis, but yeah, they're just broken, man. I mean, it's not looking good. So yeah, out of all of these though, really, I mean, that's the one where that looks dead. All these other futures looking all right. You're looking all right. So, yeah. But again, we got almost another half of the season to go, so we'll continue to monitor it, but feel pretty good overall.
Yeah.
All right. Quick update on our circa contest. So I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, whenever this was, when when we realized the model was struggling, we said, hey, you know what? It's really hard to be bad consistently, but because because the model has underperformed and whatnot, and we realized that there's also prizes for being at the bottom of the barrel in Circa. We're like, well, you know what? Maybe if there's regression to the mean with the model, and we start going on a little streak, if we just fade the model picks into Circa, maybe we'll be in line for a quote unquote losing prize. So we've been trying that
Right.
for a couple of weeks now. And so Steve, what was the latest? What did we do last week? Because again, we were on a buy from the model perspective, but we obviously had some plays.
Yeah, yeah. So the bye week ended up the end of the second quarter. So we ended up started this new third quarter with last week's picks, and we only had
Yeah.
4 picks. And really, and full disclosure, I fucked up. I didn't get the Panthers pick in time. So we had to essentially we had 3 model picks and 2 staff picks, if you will. And we also couldn't get the Eagles at 8.5, which didn't matter because they didn't cover anyway.
Right.
So we end up going 2-3, and again, we're trying to tank. So in real life, we went 3-2, but for the record, we went 2-3. So we're smack dab in the middle of the pack, as you can imagine. We're 2,217th place out of about 4,400 entries. So hopefully we can get some separation there, and that's for the third quarter standing. So every quarter they have a last place winner for 25K. And then for the overall season standings, we're 4,341st. We're about 300 spots out of last place, but there's a ton of ties. So there definitely is room there. And then also for that one, at the end of the year, if you don't put picks, like they'll disqualify you. So there's some folks who are lower than us, but because they haven't been placing bets. So when it comes to the prize, they'll be disqualified. So we're a little bit better. I think we're actually closer to about 100 spots out of first place or last place. So yeah, we can. There's still hope. We can have a strong back half. We're still in the running.
Okay. Yeah, man. No, that's interesting. I wonder how I'm sure the rules are listed out somewhere, but like if you miss, because you said last week we had 4 picks with Circa technically.
3. Yeah. No, we made 5. We made 5 picks.
Okay.
We made 5 collections. We had 3.
I thought I heard you say we only made 4 picks. I'm like, wait.
No. Yeah. No, we got
so
all the picks in.
I don't know if they're hard line and fast. Like, hey, if you have 1 missed pick this season, then you're disqualified.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're done for the full season. If you're still eligible for the quarterly bets, the quarterly standings, as long as you haven't missed any in the quarter, but because it's a tactical advantage otherwise, right?
Yep.
Because
fair.
So
yep. All right. Well, yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll continue we're gonna stick with that route. We're gonna continue to fade the model for Circa only, but obviously ride with the model for our weekly play. So to be continued. All right, jumping ahead to week 11 here. So really, there's one play for sure we have calling a line to watch here. So first one up is the Thursday night football matchup between the Packers and the Titans. And then the other one's going to be the Broncos the Raiders are at the Broncos, I believe, right? Broncos are home. We'll just call it 2 games, and just for the sake of arguments on the model this week. So let's get into the Thursday night football game here a little bit. Packers and the Titans. So both coming off of wins. The Packers coming off the impressive win really over the Cowboys, and then again we talked about the Titans over the Broncos here. So what when you see Packers -3, it's at Lambeau. I mean, how you feeling about this one, and what kind of sticks out to you?
I hate that I like this bet. I hate with everything I have in my body as a Bears fan. Because I've seen this story over and over again. It's never been this extreme, but this is the exact thing. This is the season version of RELAX. We've seen that Aaron Rodgers comes out, has a shitty performance with a bunch of no-name talent on the team, mediocre players, by name pop, and then they go on and win the NFC North. I don't think they win the NFC North, but I think this is the turning point. I think you see the Packers finish above 500 for the back half of the season. and they're at least in the playoffs, and that starts with a pretty convincing win over Tennessee. I think they're going to start trying to get it together, and from an emotional standpoint, what the model really likes is looking at these are your team metrics here, but we're looking at DVOA rankings, and their offense, your total offense statistically is just better. It's just better than Tennessee's. And so, you look at Denver. Denver actually has like the 25th ranked DVOA defense, and they held Henry to like 53 yards.
Yeah.
So
right.
even though Green Bay isn't really much better, there's a recipe to keep Henry in check. Lambeau is one of those few stadiums that, especially in the winter, could have an actual advantage for the home team.
Yeah.
So I think all those things put together is what the model's picking up. And as a fan of the game, yeah, I think Aaron is back. I think they go on and handle business. What about you, man?
Yeah. If venues were flipped, if they were in Tennessee and it was Packers -3, I would definitely be with you emotionally. I'd be like, I hate this bet. I mean, I'm not a Bears fan or I'm not a Packers hater per se, but this makes sense. I think almost predominantly for me because it's in Lambeau. I mean, yeah, we talked about the other day, and you can kind of see some of the metrics here. Neither team is efficient with the ball, with the run or the pass. I mean, both have negative EPAs, so I wouldn't necessarily expect there to be a bunch of fireworks, kind of like every fucking Thursday night game ever. Not a lot of points, but yeah, the Titans actually have it's number 1 or number 2 rush defense specifically.
I think they're number 1.
Number 1. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, DVOA, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, I mean, they've had some good games, but they've been trying to run the ball more this year just because Rodgers doesn't have a ton of weapons to throw to. And I know the rookie came on last week, Watson, had a few big plays, and maybe he steps up and can continue to do so. But if the Titans can shut down the run game, then yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Because yeah, Henry can get shut down for a week here, a week there, but he doesn't consistently get shut down. So it would kind of gives me a little pause. It's going to be bitching cold there. Both teams are going to want to run the ball and kind of ground and pound it. And I would not put it past the Titans to allow King Henry to have a good game. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But there's also something about qualitatively, you can't really measure this in my opinion. But Rodgers in primetime, man, in big games, like he still got it. He just knows how to win on the big stage. And especially if this was any higher of a line, I mean, the model technically likes it at 3.5 as well. But if it was any higher than that, both emotionally and from a model play, it wouldn't be jiving. So happy to take it at -3. I think it's moved a little bit, or at least I've seen some money come in early on Tennessee. We'll see if that shapes over in the next 24 hours or so. But yeah, Thursday Night Football, Packers -3. Go Pack, go. Sorry, Steve, as a Bears fan, but got to say it. All right, and then jumping on over to the other game, Raiders at the Broncos. I mean, I think we said a little bit the other day too, but this is basically just like JV versus JV at this point. Like both of these teams are just really shitty in several different metrics. Both have negative total DVOAs. Like they're both worse than average, teams. And what's the over under on this one? It's got to be like 41, right? Like it's got to be a low.
I'm pretty sure it's 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And I'm taking the under.
Not a bad play. Yeah. I don't know, but like it's technically, we could technically just take Broncos money line and you can get them a money line at -150 or better. Cause I think the spread at the moment is 2.5 or, somewhere around there. Is that right?
Yeah, last I checked. Yeah. It might have moved. I haven't checked since yesterday.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, when you look at how these teams stack up, I mean, Denver's got a decent decent defense, but beyond that, can't move the ball. Inefficient with running the ball, very inefficient, and then below average passing the ball too. So not going to be a lot of excitement, I think, in this one. But I just hate this. I just hate the fact that I might actually have to take this at some point.
Yeah. I'm on the opposite fence. I love this. This is like a
I
dirty.
know.
This is
I
like
know.
this is like the bet you take and then you clear your browser history so no one else knows how dirty you like it. Like this is the game where I'm actually okay with this. And this is not because I have faith in Denver. It's because I have that much lack of faith in Las Vegas. Their season is done.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when you get shut out by New Orleans and a struggling Andy Dalton, you lose 24-0. You get beat by, Hyatt on Saturday, one on Sunday, just Saturday as a first time coach. With the struggling Colts team and carousel at the quarterback position. The Raiders are who we think they are. I don't think there's going to be that midseason switch like maybe there will be with Tampa Bay or Green Bay. Like the Raiders are who we think they are. And this is a game where I guess it's going to be a low scoring. Denver's going to come up and, they'll win by a possession, but I don't think it will ever really be a sweat. So I love Denver plus 0.5. We were joking, we were making the videos, it ever so slightly doesn't meet the model criteria at a money line bet.
By the slimmest of margins, right?
Like what are the odds? How funny would it be like the game ended in a tie? Like these just two shitty teams. And actually, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure McDaniel was on record saying like somebody asked him like, "Hey, how do you feel about this Broncos versus Raiders matchup?" And his quote was, "Somebody's got to win."
I saw that. It was Hackett who said that. The Broncos.
Yeah, it was Hackett.
Yeah,
it was Hackett.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Like, wow, all right, man. Yeah, really inspiring stuff. Yeah, I'm sure the guys are fired up hearing you say that. But it's really astounding how bad these teams are. Even when you just look at the strength of schedules that both teams have played, they haven't played anybody, and they still suck.
That's alarming. That's very alarming.
It's alarming, So this one, thank God it's not a primetime game or anything, because Jesus.
Yeah, but I will say, as a degenerate gambler, I will be slamming that under for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, I might look into that a little more because I like the sound of that. So, all right. Yeah. Just again, for everyone, cards up on our social medias and everything too. But here it is again: Packers -3. Technically, like it up to 3.5, but if you can get a 3, snag it, of course. And then we'll be watching and probably taking begrudgingly, at least for me, Broncos +5 here. So. Oh man, I tell you what. Yeah, so with no picks 2 weeks ago, 4, which is kind of average, or to an extent, for us, and then 2 this week. I mean, there's no way we can, our bias doesn't go into what the model spits out week to week or whatever, but I do perceive or hope, maybe / expect that we will get the model will get on average 5 to 6 picks towards the end of the year, as it starts to learn and pick up more steam and takes into account more and more games from this season only as opposed to from last season, because 2 games it's like, all right, that's pretty low stress. I mean, that's especially one with the Thursday night game, but I hope we get to see a tick up in projections in the weeks to come. But anyhow, any last thoughts, Steve, for this weekend or for the Thursday night game? What's going to be on your brain?
One, can we all just pick a week to boycott Thursday night football and this Amazon Prime bullshit? That's my biggest thing. I have Amazon Prime, so like I can watch it, but this is getting out. Like, where does it stop? But that's my soapbox. Back to gambling though. I'm looking forward to this week. I think it'll be another strong week here. Again, I hate that I like these picks. So I'm rolling with a little bit of confidence, and I'm with you. I think one of the things, even though we have the losing record there, Seth went back and looked at it, and the model overall, the games are always ending. For the most part, has always ended at 60% 60% of the games have ended within the model's predictions. It's just of those 60%, they have it lined up with the ones that meet our criteria for line. So we're still picking from the pool that we thought we were, the win rate that we thought we were. And so I think as the time goes on, we'll definitely start to regress back to the mean, if you will.
Yeah.
And the ones that we do pick will be within that winning subset. So I'm bright things ahead, man. I'm looking forward to it. And
Sure.
let's go.
So you thinking 2-0?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm thinking 2-0. I'm really hoping for Broncos tie. That'd be so funny. But yeah, I'm thinking 2-0. This is a really low sweat week for me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, no, yeah. Despite Broncos being here, I mean, anything is possible in a shitty game like that. So yeah, I feel pretty confident saying 2-0, baby. So all right, I think that'll do it, man. It's pretty quick and easy this time around.
Yeah.
So we'll see everyone back here for week 11 recap and then week 12 look ahead next week. Until then, peace out. Best of luck. See you next time.